Lord, let's get after this main card. Get a little fire in it because we've heard many jokes about this group of fights in UFC Fight Night Apex, June 13th. But we've got through the preliminary card. It is main card time, and we've got our odds.com MMA analysts ready to break this down. We got Clint started DieHardMMa podcast. We got Boston Nick, aka Mr. Thatches. We got GK, the fight analyst, in the house. We're going to start with the bantamweight bout. 5'6" American Jourdain Espinosa, 14-7-0. Opens at minus 170 at bet 365. Slight move to minus 163. Going up against 5'6" American Mark Bumblebee De La Rosa, 11-4-0. Opens at plus 140. Now at plus 137. Clint, break it down. How do you start this main card off?
So, Jimmy, it's funny with this card. Everyone's talking shit about it. And the fact of the matter is, we're spoiled. We've had nothing but incredible UFC cards since we came back from the COVID crisis. So I can understand everybody's a little bit bummed about it, but that's why we bet. The people who are just watching these fights, they're probably going to be bored out of their minds. Those of us who have action on them and are looking for good, sharp spots, we are going to be loving this fight card on Saturday. And this fight, this is one that I had a hard time wrapping my brain around, Jimmy. Mark De La Rosa is probably the most untrustworthy fighter in the UFC. I'm shocked this kid still got a job. He's coming off of 3 straight losses, and I really am just – it's got to be because they needed a fight card that they gave him a 4th opportunity. I have no idea why he's still with the organization. So from a skills perspective, Mark De La Rosa's got it all. He's got sharp, tight boxing. He's got crisp hands. He's got a BJJ black belt. He takes opponents' backs very well. He's got a sick choke. He's got good double leg entries. The only problem, he's got a glass ceiling on him based on his physicality. He's unathletic as hell, Jimmy. I don't know how he's going to hold a candle to Jourdain Espinosa. Espinosa's incredibly fast. He throws super hard kicks. He closes range insanely fast, and he keeps his hands low and relies on his reflexes. I don't think Mark's even going to be able to hit him. The only problem is Espinosa is a bed shitter. This guy gives up submissions. He gives up takedowns. If it hits the mat, no matter how athletic he is, he's got no answer. I do not understand this fight. I have no idea how it's going to go. A lot of people are saying that Mark De La Rosa is going to pull off the upset here. I don't see how he does it unless Espinosa gift wraps it for him. Problem is, Espinosa might just do that. I'm not touching this one.
A stay away from Clint. First fight on the main card. Boston Nick, what do you think here? Espinosa, De La Rosa.
I mean, De La Rosa might be fighting for his job here. Let's be honest. He's coming off back-to-back losses. Listen, his wife's in the UFC. She's doing pretty decent. You don't want to get cut while your wife is still with the company. That's got to be demasculating. So that's got to be a little oomph under his, you know what I mean? So that being said, though, I really think that this comes down to the wrestling and the better wrestler. So whoever's able to implement that, which I believe is going to be De La Rosa, okay, is going to get the W here. So I have a slight lean to De La Rosa, but Espinosa, like I say, could poo in your apple pie. So it's a slight lean. I want to watch the weigh-ins. I will be making a live bet here. It might be a prop bet. It might be on a side. I'm just not sure just yet. But I'm leaning De La Rosa not to have his wife beat him up after the fight.
If it's a coin flip situation, you're getting a plus 140 on De La Rosa. Let's see what GK has to say about this spot. Bantamweight bout popping off the main card. GK, what do you think?
Oh, man, this is a very close fight. Obviously, Espinosa has the much better striking of the two, very much better striking. He's very quick, very fast. But I don't know. There's something about De La Rosa here that I kind of see an upset brewing. He's now training at Team Oyama. After he got his shit pushed in by Alex Perez, he's like, fuck, maybe I should go train with this guy. And he's also and Perez just beat the shit out of Espinosa within like 90 seconds.
Never looked better.
Yeah,
I know. And I was all over him in that fight. And
Congrats,
he's going to look great.
I was on the wrong side of that one. That was a hell of a performance.
It was phenomenal. But I love that he noticed that he needed a change of camps. I love when fighters do that. just like Cody Garbrandt did that when he went over to Mark Henry. So I really do see that he's really putting effort into getting better. He's training with great guys over at Team Oyama. You know, Ricky Simone, Marlon Vera. I mean, there's a ton of great lower weight class guys, especially in the wrestling department. If he souls up his wrestling, he can beat Espinosa here. And I think he might have done that here. I think he gotten better there. If he just gets better there, I think he could get him down. He could get the submission. Obviously, it's a strong lean, but this at 135. He's fought at 135 before, and I've seen photos of him. He kind of looks beefier at 135, moving up, getting more mass on him. I've seen he's getting ripped there. It doesn't look a little flabby like he used to at 125. So maybe he got his strength and conditioning in shape. I don't know. There's a lot of intangibles here, but I would not take the favorite money on Espinosa. And I kind of like the dog play on De La Rosa here.
Wow, that's two of our analysts leaning towards making a move on a dog. And we know that Clint loves dogs. We haven't seen those dogs come out yet. Maybe they will shortly. Kelly McMillan in the house. Great to see you, Kelly. We got Just Bleed MMA ready to roll with us. Connor McLaughlin, Sports Gambling Daily, Dutch Boy Fresh, Danny Lagneed. We got a great, great group. Thank you guys all for joining us. Make You Money in the house. Great group. Let's keep rolling. Next up on this main card, featherweight bout, 5'11" American Andre Touchy Fili. By the way, that's the creepiest nickname in MMA. 27 opens at minus 220, now minus 225. I tell you who not to fall asleep beside. Andre Touchy Fili. Going up against 5'9" Canadian Charles Air Jourdain. There's a nickname. They need a knucklehead.
That's a good one.
Nickname like Air Jourdain. 10-2-0. Opening up a plus 180 at Bet365. Now becoming a slightly bigger dog at plus 187. Let's go with GK. What do you think about this featherweight bout? Is there a move to make?
I just really like Andre Fili. I think his game is just kind of complete. It's whether or not he's going to implement his wrestling here. If he does, he should dominate like fairly easily. I mean, Jourdain really, this is a massive step up in competition for him, going from Doo Ho Choi to Fili. I don't think Choi was as good as he was made out to be again. In that fight with Cub Swanson, because it was like just a barn burner. But yeah, I think Fili all day here. He has got a 5-inch reach advantage. He's just the overall package, and going from a fight with Sadiq Youssef to Air Jourdain, I don't see how he's not going to come away with the victory here. Obviously, I really don't like the juice on minus 225. You can get him by decision minus 120. I think that's around reasonable. But Andre Fili definitely is a great parlay piece. I don't see the hype in Jourdain. I know he looked good in one fight, but this is a massive step up. I'm going with Andre Fili here.
I got a feeling that is Clint's parlay, but I'm just guessing right now. I'm just guessing.
Making you money in the chat right now, liking Air Jourdain plus the 180. What do you think here, Clint?
You want me to go after Nick's prediction?
Yeah.
So Nick predicted that this is the anchor of my parlay piece. And what's going on here, folks, is my boy Air Jourdain can't get no love. This is my dog, Jimmy. I'm on plus 195. I got that line before it dropped. I am on the sharp side of this bad boy. He is underrated as all hell. And the best part is I love fading guys who are stepping up in competition. GK's absolutely right. We've got a guy in Fili who is going toe-to-toe with Sadiq Youssef, which is one of the hottest prospects in the division, a monster fighter. But his game plan mixes perfect with what Jourdain does best. Let me read you a couple stats. Over his UFC career, which has been a long one, Andre Touchy Fili has averaged 4 significant strikes per minute, and he absorbs 3.96. So, I mean, just by this much, he's absorbing as many strikes as he's landing, Jimmy. And that's all there is to say about it. We've got a small sample size on Jourdain, but let me tell you, from his pre-UFC career, nothing changes. He averages 4.85 significant strikes per minute and absorbs 4.89. It's the same thing. This kid welcomes a firefight. What he does is he rips the body. He kills his opponent's body at every opportunity, and he rips leg kicks. He reminds me a whole lot of Justin Gaethje, the way he ends combinations with leg kicks. When he's in close, his opponents are trying to clinch, he rips the leg. He does everything he can to wreck his opponents and make them weaker in the later rounds, and that is why he tore apart Doo Ho Choi, because Doo Ho Choi was weak when round 2 came around, and Jourdain never stops. Fili is an incredible fighter. He's got pop on his punches, but he's going to welcome a brawl with this kid. The only thing that I'm worried about is Fili going back to his grappling. If he takes Jourdain down, he's got a significant advantage there. However, I think that Jourdain's gas tank is going to hold up, and I think that's a patch that he has been working on in his game. Looking at him on Instagram, kid's been putting some serious muscle on, and you know what that means? That's grappling, that's strength, that's defending takedowns. He's going to have a better time keeping this fight where he wants it, and he's constantly coming after his opponents until that final bell rings. I have bought in on Air Jourdain, Jimmy. I have stuck my flag in the ground. We cashed on him as an underdog against Doo Ho Choi. He's a bigger dog here, and I know it's a step up, but I have got to ride with my boy. Air Jourdain, lock it up.
Back in the knucklehead here at plus 180. And we got T-Man's World in the chat agreeing. Beach Boss possibly coming over
My
to the
boys.
Canadian side and making you money. Was all over it, right? From the beginning, making you money, saying, let's go, Clint. Nick, talk to us, man. What do you think about
Jourdain coming off the biggest win of his career? Not arguably, that's 100%. But is Superboy overhyped, guys? I mean, really, he's lost his last 3 fights. One to Charles Jourdain, I think Cub, and I believe the other one was, I can't remember. Thiago Tavares, maybe? I don't know. That being said, though, if it's a smaller cage, Fili's, I think, is going to be able to implement that grappling game that Clint is scared about. Put him on the fence, maybe get an inside leg trip, take him to the ground. Now, like you said before, a small cage, but I do think this benefits both guys as well. Yeah, the better inside boxer inside the clinch is Jourdain, but when it comes to overall striking at range, I believe that it's Fili, but he's going to run out of real estate. He's going to know that real soon, and he's going to end up putting him on the cage, taking him down eventually, and I believe he's going to end up submitting him or winning a decision. I'm on Fili here. I'm not on Jourdain.
We got Fili looks from Nick and GK, and Clint on a dog alert. And he's got a lot of great cappers in the chat agreeing. Making you money, T-Man's World, and Beach Boss may just come over to that dark side. There you have it. That's the second fight on the main card this Saturday, June 13th, Apex. Let's move on. Bantamweight bout from the Republic of Georgia. 5'6", Merab the Machine, Dvalishvili, 10-4-0, huge favorite. Opens at minus 350 at bet 365. That's where it's still at. Going up against 5'4" American Ray, the Mexican Devil Borg, 13-5-0, plus 275 dog Clint. What do you think about this dog? I know that you've been interested in the Mexican Devil before.
I have, Jimmy. He's incredibly underrated. Ray Borg has exactly the skill set that you want to see in MMA. He's an incredible high-caliber wrestler. He mat returns people constantly. He's got fast, tight hands. In his last fight, he actually showed those hands off, and he's got some serious speed and some decent pop in his punches. The problem here, Jimmy, is that he's fighting at 135. Ray Borg belongs at 125 where he can physically dominate his opponents. He is simply too small for 135. He struggled against his last opponent in Ricky Simone, and he couldn't get that takedown working, and he just doesn't have enough pop on his punches to hurt the guys in this division. Merab Dvalishvili is basically a better version of Ricky Simone. Jimmy, this is the anchor of my parlay. I got in early on Merab, and I got him locked up at minus 278 for that parlay. That's a two-banger, buddy. It came out to minus 123, and I'm laying 2.46 units to win 2 on that bad boy, because if there was ever, I don't use the L word, Jimmy, but if there was ever a lock on this card, this is it. Every opportunity, every path to victory that Ray Borg has, Merab does better.
I agree. I agree.
Nick, jump in, man. Jump in.
Ray Borg in his last outing fought Ricky Simone, right? And he was supposed to be the guy to out-grapple Ricky Simone, everybody thought. Ricky Simone easily took him down. He out-grappled Ray Borg, the grappler. But the one thing that I saw in that fight, which was kind of weird, I didn't think I'd see it, is Ray Borg's hands look pretty damn dangerous. Right? His boxing was crisp. That's one thing I was worried about because I was on Simone, and he was throwing some heavy leather, but he didn't catch him. Now, Simone also beat Merab, but in my opinion, I don't think he really beat him. Clint, you remember what happened with that when he the technical decision where he didn't tap, and after the bell they said he was unconscious and whatnot? He was beating Ricky Simone up and down, taking him down at will. So if Merab's going to take Ricky down at will, and Ricky's going to basically take Ray Borg down at will like he basically did, I mean, what do you think is going to happen here? I can't agree enough with Clint. I like Merab here by decision. I think Ray Borg lasts all three. I think Merab by decision is a good look, depending on what the odds are right now. If you could take a look at him. And that parlay piece.
By decision is minus 200, by the way.
Oof.
Oof.
Yeah. That's parlayable too.
It is, but that's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
that's the highest. That's the highest decision.
I wouldn't be parlaying a prop like that at that price. If you're going to parlay him, take him straight. If you're going to lay that chalk, don't lock yourself into a decision only, because Merab's going to be so much bigger and so much stronger. He may end up with some kind of a TKO here.
It maybe even a slam TKO. You never know.
Going rampage style.
No, it's definitely possible.
Rob wins this hands down.
This is definitely a lock. This is definitely a lock. I don't think Ray Borg doesn't even have an ounce of a chance in this fight, unfortunately. And I feel bad for him because he just look at the guys he's getting: Ricky Simone, Casey Kenny.
He can't catch a break.
No, and he really can. Just give him a striker, give him a chance at 135. Don't give him Merab. Merab's averaging over 17 takedowns per 15 minutes. 17 attempts. That's insane. And he's averaging over 7 takedowns landed during those 15 minutes. So, he's going to get absolutely hammered and dominated. There's no way you should be taking Borg in this fight.
GK, are you going to be using the machine?
I would probably anchor. I wanted Merab early. Unfortunately, I don't get lines super early, but he's minus 400. Now you literally have to put him just parlays. You can't straight bet him. It's just too much of a juice. So, but yeah, he's got to be in all of your parlays. He's got to be your anchor. Has to be.
There you have it. The machine up against the Mexican Devil. Let's move on to the co-main event, and let's let Brandon Lease in our chat lead us in. Brandon Lease says Vettori gonna get humbled. Vettori gonna get humbled. Middleweight bout, 6'1" American Carl Baby K Roberson, 9-0, opens at Bet365 plus 175. Now you can get a plus 180. Going up against 6-foot Italian Marvin, the Italian Dream Vettori, 14-4-1, minus 210 opener at Bet365. Now just minus 220. Timothy in the chat says Marvin all day. Nick, what do you think about the Italian Dream? Could he get touched here?
Listen, both these guys have excellent stand-up. We all know that. But what separates these two fellas is that grappling. Roberson right now is averaging a 53% takedown defense, and that's just not going to cut it with Vettori. I believe he can strike with him, but if he's smart, he's going to take him right down to the mat and dominate him. Roberson's been known to be taken to the mat and dominated. As our previous breakdown was a couple weeks ago with Vettori and Roberson, it's the same. The only thing that isn't the same is the odds. We had Vettori at minus 150 3 weeks ago, whenever it was. Now we got him at minus 220, and then Roberson come back at plus 180-ish. I'm still on Vettori. I believe he's parlayable, but I might look into a prop, maybe inside the distance, maybe by decision, depending on the odds. Maybe both if I can get plus 185 and then higher on the next one. So, but I like Vettori here. He's parlayable for sure.
Making You Money says Vettori, the win parlay play. GK, what do you do here in the co-main event this Saturday night?
I'm still on Vettori here. I've been on Vettori kind of the first 2 times they were supposed to fight, and I'm still on him here. I just feel the pace, the pressure is really gonna wear on Roberson. And And also, I mean, I just haven't been sold on him. I know he's a good kickboxer, good defensive striker, got some pop in his strikes. Only has 1 KO in his last like 5 or 6 fights, but on the Contender Series in his 4th fight. But yeah, I just think Vettori is a more well-rounded fighter in this. He's going to push the pace. He's got more. He definitely throws not way more volume, but he throws 9.87 strikes per minute compared to Roberson's only 6.08. So he's going to be the one that's going to be the aggressor here. And then you're talking about a guy that really isn't fighting anybody good. I mean, Roman Kopylov. It was his last fight. No one really knows who the hell he is, and he beat him. He actually took him down, submitted him, said, how bad he really was. And then Wellington Turman, a fight that he definitely lost, in my opinion. He definitely lost that fight. He got taken down at will in that fight against Turman. And I just think Vettori is just the overall better fighter, and I kind of like him to win a decision here. I'm not sure what the decision line is, but I do like him to win a decision here.
Roberson has to land a bomb to beat Vettori and just put his lights out, in my opinion.
There's a lot
Agreed.
of cappers in the chat that are liking this dog here and Baby K. Clint, what do you think?
So, Jimmy, I have been on the side of Marvin Vettori for a very, very long time. This is a kid that I kind of put my stamp on. When he came into the UFC, immediately caught my eye. His fight with Israel Adesanya really impressed me. That's maybe the best fight that we talked about this last time. Since, besides maybe Kelvin Gastelum, Vettori gave him the best run for his money. Now, he's got a solid ground game. He struggles a little bit with the gas tank. He struggles a little bit with the takedown. But this is a super young kid. He's 26 years old, and he's been on the sidelines since October of 2019. He has had this fight locked up over and over and over again, and it keeps falling through. We saw the video of them getting into it after their last fight got canceled because Roberson had a medical issue. The doctors pulled him from the card. There's some serious beef and heat behind this card. I want to pick Vettori, Jimmy, but I hate that price tag, and I've got a lot of cappers who I very much respect, including my boy in the chat, UFC Bro Picks, that is on Carl Roberson. Now, the thing is, I can't get behind the dog in Roberson either because of the hole in his game. That ground game is a massive issue. The 2 times he's lost in the UFC have been to Cesar Ferreira and Glover Teixeira. Now, granted, Glover Teixeira is at 205 pounds. He took that fight a weight class up on short notice. Y'all know I love my boy Glover, and he even crushed Anthony Smith lately. So that's a different level of competition. But Cesar Ferreira, that's a common opponent. We've got Marvin Vettori, who is one of the few people that decided to take down the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu standout and dominated him for 15 minutes. So I don't think Roberson has anything for Vettori on the ground. However, I do think Roberson has an edge on the feet. So it's just going to depend on who can bring their game plan to bear here. If Roberson can defend the takedown, land some shots as Vettori is coming in, he's got a great chance at a knockout. If Vettori gets Roberson on the ground, I think he's got a great chance to submit. I want to be on the side of Vettori. I thought about parlaying him. However, I am too scared to do so at this point. I'm staying off.
Now, also with Vettori, I mean, that Israel Adesanya fight could have went either way, right? You think? Yeah. So
it was close.
That's the only guy to give the champ, you know what I mean, that's been destroying people.
And that was 2 years ago.
Yep, and he's only gotten better in my opinion.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's Vettori for me, or pass. Usually say dog or pass, but I can't trust, like you said, Roberson with his horrible takedown defense, and I don't think he's mopped that up in the last 4 or 5 months during COVID. You know what I mean? You just can't with your training partner. So it's Vettori for me.
There you have it. That's the co-main event. That was fun hearing the cappers in the chat on the dog. That was fun. I like that. Making You Money says Vettori went the distance with Style Bender. Making You Money, it's funny because the amount of cappers who were backing Baby K, some of them were saying, why don't you take Baby K by decision and get a huge score rather than just
he doesn't beat Vettori by decision. In my opinion, if he beats Vettori, he's got to land a bomb. I don't think he can go 3 rounds with Vettori because Vettori's going to take him down. He's got to land a bomb, in my opinion. I mean, yeah, if it's worth it, if it's plus like 700 or more, 600 or more maybe. But
Vettori's also going to throw more volume. I mean, Roberson's a very low volume striker. I mean, he's like I said, he's only throwing 6 strikes a minute. I know he's very accurate, but he's normally always going to get out volumed on the
Small
feet.
cage too.
It's going to be hard to win a decision if you're not throwing enough volume.
Yeah.
Well, that is your co-main event. Let's go into the main event. Let's let our man Timothy Topher take us there. He says, worst main event ever, but like the good gambler he is. Hoping Cynthia makes me 3 units. Let's get into it right now. Women's flyweight bout, 5'6" American Jessica Evil Eye, 15-7-0. It's a pick'em going up against 5'4" American Cynthia Calvillo, 8-1-1. It is a pick'em. Boston Nick, who are you picking?
Oof. I mean, Cynthia right now, she's moving up in weight here, if I'm not correct, right, Clint?
Yeah, normally she fights at 115. She's coming up to 125 on this one.
Okay. I mean, she's got a few decent wins at 115. Courtney Casey, JoJo Calloway, which I know you love, Clint. That's one of your ex
girl JoJo.
Yep. But that was at 115 pounds. This is at 125 now. So I will be the bigger girl here for sure. You know what I mean? And yeah, she did come off a big loss to Valentina Shevchenko, but came back and beat Viviana Aruo. I can never pronounce that last name right, but unanimously. And she's no slouch. This is a tough one. It's a coin flip, like the basically the odds. What are we getting on Eye right now, Jimmy?
It's a pick'em, -110.
I mean, if it's a pick'em right now and it's a 5-round fight, I believe that Cynthia might gas Jessica. It's a small lean to Jessica. Small lean to Jessica.
GK, what do you think about this pick'em? Oh, you're muted, my man.
Keep doing that. Sorry, guys. Worst main event in UFC history. Number 1. I don't know. This is a very evenly matched fight, but I think the size is going to make a huge difference here. And how Calvillo loves her striking now since she went over to Thailand and started working over there. And I think that newfound love of striking is really going to be at her detriment. Mm-hmm. I think she really needs to use that wrestling to win this fight. And if she doesn't, and she thinks she's going to win a striking match against Jessica Eye, who's much bigger, much stronger than her, who has more pop in her strikes, she has another thing coming. And I'm at pick'em odds. I think I hate Jessica Eye. I despise that woman. She's super cringe. Like,
yeah, me too.
Like she's worse than Henry Cejudo. So
it's worse because she's not doing it on purpose.
You're right. You're right. That's just her.
But yeah, I'm going with Eye here, man. She's fought the better competition. She's fought the bigger girls. You're talking about Valentina Shevchenko, one of the best ever. I'm going with Eye here. I think she rolls over Calvillo.
GK liking Eye in this flyweight bout. Clint, what do you think here? What's the move?
So, Jimmy, not to put you on the spot, buddy, but did you end up playing those overs on the main event last week?
Well, the sad part was that I don't know if it's sad, but we went 10 hours, a full 10 hours on my show.
Oh, I know you did.
I was deep in the sauce, and what happened to me was as soon as my show's over, I have to study for the next day's horse races. So I can't go and watch. I have to go into a dark room alone and study. And so that's what I did, sadly.
Do you not bet if you can't watch it, Jimmy? Are you one of those guys? I am.
Generally. But the thing is, I couldn't even have it on because I had the clock is ticking. Because now that Gulfstream starts so early, my show started at 11. So when we were done our show, my next show started in 13 hours and 50 minutes. And I had 5 cards. It was just, it's
over 100 races, right?
It's like 24. It's like the TV show 24. You know?
I'm so sad to hear that, Jimmy, because you were talking about taking every single over in the book, and the fight went the decision.
Yeah.
You would have cashed every single one of them. And my over 2.5 at plus 140, that over 3.5 was plus 200. The over 4.5 was plus 330. Would have been a massive, glorious night. And I was hoping you would just show me a fistful of money.
Yeah. You have 1.5 to be safe, like you know what I mean? And I regret it. I should take the over 2.5. Yeah, I put 3 units on it, but still the over 2.5 at plus money, right? You got Clint plus money?
I got it way early at plus 140. It was sitting around plus 125 for a while and hit closed around minus 120.
Well, there was the angle really was you got this Canadian underdog who's going to take a beating, and we know what you know about Canadians is you can keep punching them in the face, they'll keep coming at you. And so we had this Canadian underdog, and then if you're watching with your boys drinking, every second that goes by, you're making more money. Right. So how much fun is that? I'm sad that I didn't get to run in. Are you thinking something similar here?
Well, we don't have totals on this one yet, so unfortunately, I'm not able to go quite that hard on this one. I don't think it's quite the same setup because I know people are poo-pooing this fight. I know everyone's talking about how bad of a fight that this is, but honestly, guys, it's a really good matchup. Stylistically speaking, for the MMA hardcores like ourselves, this is a fun fight. These two match up really, really well. We've got Calvillo, who is a gorgeous girl that the UFC is looking to get behind. She is a brand material fighter moving up a weight class to take on a former title challenger. I think the UFC is trying to get one over on Jessica Eye here. I think they want Calvillo to win this fight. And Calvillo looks very, very motivated. She struggled at 115. Even though she's a little bit smaller, I think she's going to look pretty good at 125. I want to see them when they face off. I want to see them on the scales and see just how big that size difference is. But Calvillo is a solid, solid prospect, Jimmy. I heard a lot of people talking about how her last fight against Courtney Casey, she barely got by a terrible fighter in Courtney Casey. And people were talking about how she went 0-6 on her takedowns. And this is a girl who's supposed to be a grappler. She couldn't get a takedown on Courtney Casey. Guys, watch that tape again. She didn't want the takedown. She was toying with Courtney Casey. She was testing out her boxing. This girl's been working out at Tiger Muay Thai and now at AKA, and she's improving every single time we see her. She saw an opponent who she wasn't threatened, and if she ever needed to, she could pull it out of her back pocket, that grappling, and hit the mat, but she just never needed to because she dominated in the striking realm. That was a test fight. That's like when Khabib took out Al Iaquinta and decided not to grind him on the mat. He wanted to feel that 25-minute champion fight because it was the one time he felt safe enough to do so. And I really feel like that's affecting this line right now, is the fact that she fought close with Courtney Casey. I'm on Calvillo here, Jimmy. I haven't locked in the bet yet because I see money coming in on I, and I think I'm going to get plus money on Calvillo. She's an even money underdog right now. I think it's going to get bigger. And I is actually coming into this fight a little bit on short notice. They told Calvillo, I think Calvillo was getting ready for a fight sooner, and then I was offered the fight later. She's kind of jumping in here at the last second. We know with these COVID situations, I don't know how well her gas tank is going to be here. And we know Calvillo is going to be able to go the full 25 minutes of this fight. On top of that, what we've seen from Aya is she's always struggled with wrestlers, Jimmy. I talk about this on my podcast a lot. The threat of the takedown, not the actual takedown, but simply the threat of the takedown shells people up. If you think, you know what, I don't think I can stop this girl and I really don't want to be underneath her, you are hesitant. You don't fire strikes. The other person, on the other hand, all they've got to do is lean down and touch your thigh to remind you, I can put you on your ass, and then they can open up with their hands more. And on top of that, my girl Calvillo averages 4.12 significant strikes per minute when compared to Jessica Eye's 3.79. I know it's not a huge margin, but she is averaging more output in the striking realm. I think she's going to edge out rounds. She likes to seal rounds with takedowns. And even though Jessica Eye has been working on her grappling, it's always been the Achilles heel in her game. She's only got a 59% takedown defense rating. And we saw, now we can't compare Calvillo to the great Valentina Shevchenko. But as soon as this fight hit the ground, she had no way to get up. There was no answer to the ground game. She has a good guard. She can reestablish her guard and keep herself out of bad positions when Eye is on her back, but she doesn't have a way to get back to her feet. I honestly think this is going to be close on the feet. I think Eye has got more power, but I think Calvillo is actually faster and more technical at this point, and I think Calvillo having that grappling in her back pocket is going to be the difference maker. I've got Calvillo here, and the way that she was talking, she talked in an interview I heard earlier this week about not wanting to leave this fight to the judges. Jimmy, I'm not going to touch an over on this one because I think there's a half outside shot that Calvillo goes for the kill.
She said that, huh?
She did.
Do you think that she might have fell in love with her striking a bit too much, where she over at Muay Thai,
No, sir. She's training out at AKA, buddy. Who else in this world is known for their grappling other than AKA? They've got Cain Velasquez, Daniel DC Cormier.
Before that?
What's that?
Did she come from Tiger Muay Thai before that?
She was training at Tiger Muay Thai before that, and for this camp, because of the COVID situation, she's hanging out at AKA. Her grappling is going to be sharp. It's going to be on point.
Yeah, smaller cage too. You're right. I mean,
and like I said, she didn't fall in love with her striking. She needed to test her striking at an elite level, and she picked the right opponent to do it.
I'm going to go back on my lean here. It's not to Jessica Eye. It's on Cynthia. It's on Cynthia. Especially at the small cage.
I just need to know that Calvillo is going to go for the takedowns. If she does that, then we know that Calvillo is the right side. But it just I need to know that.
I want to see her at the scales, like you said. My biggest thing here is I got to see Cynthia after the weigh-ins. It's my biggest thing here on my notes is I have to see Cynthia after the weigh-ins to see what she looks like up against Jessica Eye, because like we were talking about earlier, the bigger girl usually wins. You know what I mean? So.
Well, and did any of you guys watch her last fight against Marina Rodriguez?
Yeah. Was it a draw?
It was a draw.
Yeah.
Marina Rodriguez had massive physical advantages on Cynthia Calvillo. Jimmy, I know you probably don't know this one. She came out like a bat out of hell. She's an impressive striker. She's got a height and reach advantage, and she basically messed Calvillo up for 2 rounds. But you know what Calvillo did? Instead of going back and calling it quits, instead of throwing in the towel or just taking her beating, in round 3, she came out and she put Rodriguez on her ass, and she almost finished the fight, Jimmy. She laid such a beating on her that in an MMA game where people do not like giving 10-8 rounds, she scored 2 10-8 rounds on the judges' scorecards and forced that fight to a draw.
Yeah,
if that fight had 30 more seconds in it, 20 more seconds in it, she would have got the TKO victory, and I think that's the blood that she is tasting. I think after doing that to a high prospect like Rodriguez, I think she knows that she's got that ability to finish, and she's got the gas tank to do it after getting her ass beat for 2 rounds. So Calvillo is the person in this fight that can pull that finish out of her back pocket if she gets down 2 rounds. If we're in round 4, if we're in round 5, she has the grit, the determination, and that never quit attitude to come back and get that finish. I like Calvillo a lot here. And like I said, I like her at an even money underdog, but I think I might get plus 120. So I'm going to sit tight for just a second. If it bounces back the other way, I'm probably going to lock it in sooner than later.
The only thing in my mind that's messing me up right now with this fight is just her going up to 125. You know what I mean? She did all that against 115-pound girls, and I just it's tough.
She's a thick 115er, Nick. She struggled with that weight cut, and with Eye coming in on shorter notice, I think Eye's going to have a gas tank issue. And if Eye has a gas tank issue and Calvillo does not with the extra 10 pounds,
of course. But you know that Cynthia has. It's not. She hasn't been able to make weight because it's a little bit of laziness in a lot of people's opinions. And she could make 115 pounds if she wanted to, but she's a little bit lackadaisical when it comes to what she wants to eat. So that's why she's fighting at 125 right now. I think she should drop back down to 115 and get her diet right, and she'd be a serious contender there. Obviously, she's not a serious contender at 125 pounds. We know what Valentina would do to her. You know what I mean? So, yeah. That's where I'm at. I'm gonna lean here, Cynthia, just simply off its 5-round fight, smaller cage, and I think she'll be able to get it to the ground.
Cynthia Calvillo building steam here with the cappers that we are rolling with. Thank you guys so much for joining. It's been real fun. But before we go, best bet time, main card time. Nick, you had your thunder taken in the preliminary best bet by Clint. Maybe you can give it back to him right here. What is your best bet on this card? Boston.
Maybe I should have circled this beforehand. A lot of the props aren't out yet, so that's where I usually like to take angles in it or prop bets. But
that's where Nicky makes his money.
He knows it. What can I get Fili yet?
You can get all touchy Fili at minus 225.
Oh, I can't do that.
Why can't you do that, Nick?
That's just too much juice. You know that.
225 is not bad if you believe in the pick.
I'd rather take Marab by decision at minus 200. You know what I mean? So
yeah. I get it. Merab the Machine by decision at -200. Just bleed in the house. His best play is
Aguilar -165.
Aguilar -165, but that's back up. That's the prelim. So
Yeah,
we're gonna stick with the main card. Best
Just
we got picks.
best picks on main card.
That's sorry.
GK, best bet main card.
Tough one. I'm probably gonna play it safe and take Marvin Vettori -220. I do like his skill set, and I think he should get it done over Roberson. Faced a much better competition. He got the better all-around skill set, and he's gonna get the win here.
Now I want to say, Friday night, check out our After the Weigh-In show with Mo Scream. And if Clint can join us this Friday, that'd be nice as well. We're bringing guests on. GK, if you're available, we'll bring everybody on after the weigh-ins. I think we might have Joy work as well, maybe with Frankie Perez. And but that's where I'll be giving out some more bets and some prop bets, because that's where I make my money, is in the prop.
So before we get to Clint's best bet, we have Clint's total show on Thursday. We have the weigh-in show on Friday, and then the boys will be going live for the fights on Saturday. So a lot of UFC here at odds.com. Clint, best bet time.
Well, Jimmy, as you know, I can't give you my chalky bet because absolutely the best bet on the card is Merab Dvalishvili, but I'm not going to give the people a -400. And you would think I'd want to give you a pick on the main event, but you know what? I have to. I would love to give you Charles Jourdain as my best bet, Jimmy, because I love the juicy dog odds on that one. But honestly, the more I think about it, I'm going to go with Cynthia Calvillo. She's my best bet on the card. You're getting even money. If you hesitate just a little bit, you may be getting plus money. I think this is a changing of the guard matchup, and it's a good, tight line that we are getting on her. I'm going to rock with Cynthia Calvillo.
I like that.
Oh, that's exciting. I like it. A look on the main event. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you to the chat. We'll give the chat a big shout out here in a second, but let's thank our analysts. Let's start with GK Garrett making his debut here at odds.com. What a treat it is. GK, tell us a little bit about the TFTA podcast.
Yeah, guys, we have this podcast, as you can see, the Fighter and the Analyst, between me and my man Peter Petties. We usually do it Saturdays at 3 p.m. right before the fight, so you guys can get those bets in right before, hit the sports book and cash out with us. You can find us on YouTube, The Fight Analyst, or Facebook, The Fight Analyst. That's where we usually stream all of our podcasts on Saturdays, 3 p.m.
And isn't Peter Peters? He's PFL. He's a PFL fighter, right?
Yeah, he fought on the Contender Series against I forgot his name, and then yes, he fought on the PFL as well.
Yep.
Follow our man GK also at Fight Analysts. That's with an S at the end of it. At Fight Analyst on Twitter. Boston Nick, aka Mr. Fat Fist. Where can we see you this week?
On Twitter, Mr. Fatfist, MRFATFIST. Boston Nick MMA is my YouTube page. Not a lot of content there. You can also reach me on Mo Screen TV. I'm always there. We're always doing live shows. Most of all, you can reach me at Odds HQ. That's where I'm putting all my MMA content out, and Odds 110 on Twitter. So subscribe, guys. I appreciate the support, literally from the bottom of my heart.
Beautiful. And Clint, my man, follow him at DieHardMMa Pod. But we have that's every Monday, and then we have a new show coming from you on Thursdays. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, Jimmy, we call it Total Madness because we're going to go over the totals for every single UFC event. I'm going to break down the entire fight. We're going to start over and look at it simply from a totals perspective. We broke down the whole card. I did it on my podcast yesterday. We do the roundtable on Tuesdays, and then on Thursdays, I'll be setting up this video where we talk about the overs and unders, and sometimes we find some very, very sneaky value on the totals. So I look forward to Total Madness. Come hang out with me. Check out that video when it hits odds.com's YouTube page.
I love it. I love it. But we have nothing without these great campers in the chat. Thank you guys so much for rolling with us. Walla Walla Dose. We had the Making You Money team in the house. Beach Boss, Alex Ramirez, West Coast Sports Gambling Daily, SGD Nation rolling with us. Just Bleed MMA, Gregory Wilson, Timothy Topher, Flipper 13, Twist 1, Kelly McMillan. What a great group. We had Danny Lags, the capper. Danny Lags, great to see Danny Lags.
Oh,
Danny.
Danny Legs.
Danny Lags in the house.
My boy Lags.
T-Man's World rolling with us. What a great group. Gabriel Killian giving us great insights as well. Schnizzle, Brandon Williams, Brandon Lease.
Dennis Garcia
rolling with us.
and
Great.
Beach Boss. I found that friggin' photo a couple days ago. I had to brag about it.
Yeah, right. Okay. Thank you guys so much for rolling with us. This is Odds HQ. If you could hit the subscribe button, we'd be very, very thankful. Follow us on Twitter, Odds110. And on behalf of these great analysts, we had GK, Boston, Nick, and Clint started DieHardMMa podcast rolling with us. Get that cash on Saturday and watch the boys Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Thank you guys so much for watching. Get paid in full.